can't find it.
I said it started, and I said, ladies and gentlemen, that's where you do the thing where you talk over me. So I was expecting you to start.
I know. I have to find the street. It's not showing up for me.
It started. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ibrahim talks over me now. Go ahead.
All right. Welcome back, everybody, to another week of Final Laugh Friday. You already know it's our podcast. We put our own spin on it. Today, we're with a good friend of mine, my man John.
What the fuck?
What's up, John?
I'm off. Hold up. I'm offline. What's going on?
Yeah,
now we live.
Wait, we're not live? Do I have to do it again?
We are live.
All right. Yeah. So I've known John for forever, and he was kind enough to be our guest this week. We're going to be talking about, just mental health. I think,
That's it.
Working on mental health, preserving mental health, and improving it, especially since it's a pretty unstable time, so a lot of people are stressed out, and I can understand that. So yeah, John, if you got any stuff you want to say about yourself before we start, social media, anything you want to plug yourself? No.
Sorry. You're making people say stuff from the start before they're supposed to say it at the end. Well, go ahead, whatever.
We gotta change it up. We gotta keep it on the toes. All right.
You started it at the start last time.
So, the topic today is about mental health. And first, I want to just, get into it. How do you guys feel? Quarantine first, being isolated for so long, and the coronavirus scare. The media blew it up, of course. Followed by what's been going on lately in America has affected your mental health. How do you guys feel about that? Anybody want to start us off?
You guys can go ahead and start.
Or shit. All right, I'll go ahead and start. So, to be honest, I didn't really feel like coronavirus or the quarantine or anything really affected me.
Hey, hold up real quick.
And in terms of my mental health, because I was following.
Hold on. This is episode 4? This is episode 4?
Yeah, it's 4.
Okay, cool. Go ahead.
It's 4.
Coronavirus never affected you mentally because...
Yeah, it never really bothered me. I mean, maybe because of my biology background too, so I wasn't really I was able to filter out information that was relevant, information that was, completely out of pocket. But then I was following it for way back when, for November, December, reading the WHO, what they were putting out and everything. I was keeping an eye on it. So, honestly, I knew it would get kind of this bad, the way the world was treating it. So when it did happen, I wasn't really, surprised or anything. And the quarantine was just necessary at that point. So that really bothered me. But in terms of what's been going on over the last 2 weeks, 10 days, last 2 weeks, really,
you guys are 11.
I'm not worried or anything. I am very upset. It's a very annoying. It's a time where people are very frustrated, and you feel very powerless as an individual. No matter how much you do, you're just one person, and it feels like nothing really gets done, and that's kind of been getting to me. But overall, I don't feel like I've been really affected too much, per se. I'm an extrovert by nature, but I don't really feel like being locked up is bothering me too much or anything like that. It's just, it's just tough and strange times, and that requires a unique mindset, unique approach. That's really how I've been handling myself. Anybody else want to share?
I'm gonna wait. You guys go. I got a bit to say, so.
All right, go for it.
I said I'm gonna wait.
So I'll just go real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So for me, I'm super introverted to the point where lockdown is basically how I just normally live anyway. I don't really go out that much. So that part of lockdown has been really easy. In fact, I think I'm thriving right now because it's I have a good excuse to be inside as opposed to before where, I always felt like I had to explain why I would just prefer to stay home. But the last few weeks have been a different story. It's a lot more easy to get anxious about what's going on and to feel like you need to be simultaneously keeping up with what's going on, which is constantly updating, and also kind of thinking about what you need to do for yourself, which includes not looking at your phone all the time, because man, a couple of days ago I looked at my phone pretty much the whole day and I was a nervous wreck by the end of the night. Like I stayed up super late looking at all these videos, and I felt horrible.
Yeah.
So we can talk a little bit more about what I think people can do, because I think a lot of people can relate. So I have some like insight as to how you can like deal with that, but I'll talk about that later
Yeah, I
on.
was gonna say, let's hit that for point number 2. I'm feeling because I also have a couple
Yeah.
of things I'd like to talk about as far as that. But John, you want to go or should I go? You want it?
You can go first, Nami. I'm the guest. I'll go last.
I mean, I got a bit to say. So,
No, you go ahead. You're good.
all right, bet.
I'm curious.
Then, so, past couple of weeks, or not past couple of weeks, let me start with coronavirus. So, we went down lockdown like March, right? Like,
Yeah, mid-March. About like 16.
mid-March is when the U.S. started being like, oh, this is a threat. And for me, I don't want to say it didn't affect me, because, like, it definitely did. I was at home a lot by that time anyway. I didn't have a job. I was looking for a job, but I didn't have one. And I was already at home. And my family took that a lot, my dad especially, took this whole thing a lot more seriously than everybody else. So I was on a lockdown. And, I mean, it didn't affect me that much. There were days when I was like, I gotta get out the damn house. And, like, I would just go and just drive around. I didn't go anywhere, I just drove. But it was nice to be out of the house. But even so, I don't know if I'd call it, like, it affecting my mental health as much. Because there were days when I would be like, oh, I'm not going to do anything today. And then I would kind of just get up and I'd start doing something and I'd be like, okay, I'm on a roll. So I don't think it affected my mental health. It affected my way of viewing things. Because you said the media overblew it, Ibrahim. And, like, I agree. But I also thought it was totally serious for the most part.
Oh yeah, no. What I meant, but when I said that it wasn't serious, but part of the media's quote unquote job is to promote views with scare tactics and blowing to their proportions. So it's a lot of people that don't really understand the biology talking about it, and it really, really gets out of hand. There's a lot of misinformation, and people don't know what they're talking about. There's a lot of people who are talking about coronavirus like it's alive. Viruses aren't alive. They have no idea what they're talking about and anything. Just a bunch of like nonsense. It was really just like promoting scares or whatever. And then if people just spend more time, exactly. But if they just spend more time promoting like proper response, it wouldn't even been that bad. But anyway, back to your point.
I was gonna say before I get back to my point, I just noticed you shaved, bro. Looking clean shaven, baby smooth.
With me or Ivan?
Both of you actually. Ivan told us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it had to go, man. I mean, it was like, honestly, it got to the point where I could catch small birds, and
Excuse me.
Yeah, so I really think it was time. It's hair; it grows back. I haven't seen my own cheeks in a long time, so it's nice.
All right.
Let me shave it up.
Let me hit that second bit. So, the past couple weeks, I'm not like what's it called? I'm not a big activist by any means. I'm not somebody who takes action or like is increasingly or extra vocal. You know what I mean? But the past week, 2 weeks, I think I've been more vocal about an issue than I've ever been in my life, and it's because it's so honestly ridiculous to me that everything's getting so out of hand because people don't understand. I guess they don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. It doesn't make sense to me how you can look at a human and be like and think like the way a racist would. And I guess it's had an effect on my mental health. Not my mental health. It's kind of made me have more drive, but like I can't focus on other things for like very long. Like whenever I'm just chilling with Cody, I can do whatever. But like if I'm like at work, I'm on Twitter constantly. Because I'm scrolling, I'm retweeting, I'm posting stuff to Instagram stories, to Snapchat stories, liking stuff on Facebook. I hate using Facebook. I like stuff on Facebook. I'm like, yeah, I gotta get news out. I'm sitting here donating to charities. I'm out here donating to organizations. And it's like, I can't focus on much else. Or I'm like in Discord, like bashing on shitters for whatever reason. And like... So it's a past.
There's a lot of them.
But it's like I feel like educating people is so important, dude. And so many people don't get it, and they won't get it unless you tell them. Because this kind of I don't know. It's
It's for some reason. Now I don't know why. Like to me, it really doesn't make sense. When people have a hard time understanding something if it hasn't happened to them or directly applies to them,
yeah.
which is kind of weird
It's
because
like people lack empathy, bro. And it's
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
yeah. I
and
think
the thing
it's
about it
because
is- the thing
I think it's a
about-
lack
Yeah.
of empathy.
Yeah, go ahead.
right. Wait, what did you say? What did you say, John? You said lack of empathy.
I was just saying. I mean, I think Nandi really hit a nail on the head. I think it's an issue with everybody that we just have a lack of empathy. I mean, you look at all of human history; it's been the same way the whole time. Like, and you think we'd learn by now,
Right.
but we haven't.
History
it's like-
repeats itself, bro.
It just keeps happening, and the only way we can stop it from happening is to educate people. And
And it blows my mind. Like, what pisses me off more than anything is when somebody will come in, or like, at least for Discord, they'll be like, "Oh, keep it fun, keep it." They'll be like, "Keep it fun. Like, why can't we just talk about?" I'm like, "Bitch, what the fuck? Shut your ass up." It's like dumb,
Right? You know, it's going on right outside your front door. People are dying
like
everywhere.
dumb.
You're just like,
exactly, dumb N-word
Yeah.
villains will be like, they'll be like, we just keep it fun around here, and I'm like, that's not how this works. They'll be like, it says no politics in the server rules. Okay, so it's not
people's lives.
politics,
You know, yeah,
idiots.
murder's not political,
I'm
right?
gonna say, I didn't know I was taking a side towards murder. I guess murdering
Yeah.
or not murdering, that's a politic ideal. I guess I don't
Yeah.
know.
I mean,
was like,
usually it's not on Discord, but there are people with anxiety that like they have issue like talking about things like that, and they when they deal with issues like this and they process issues like this, they don't process it in the same way, and they're like they just have anxiety, and so to those people, some of those people need escapes from stuff like that, like
Yeah.
people because I'm extroverted. Again, it's really hard for me to empathize with people who are introverted and people who have anxiety.
Yeah.
But it's like I have to like really be conscious of that because I'm like you, Namdi, and the fact that I'm just like here's an issue, let's talk about an issue, and this is a thing we got to talk about because it's important. It's like yeah, it's important. Not everybody has the same mental state to take that
Hey,
on.
see,
and I get that.
the thing is like, I'm sorry, go ahead. No,
I got that. So I get that too.
Deep struggle action.
I don't think some rando on Discord that's what they're talking.
No,
But
no,
I just mean like there's people like that, and like people like that are being called out for like oh you're not
Right.
activists, you're not the same part of the cause. You're XYZ. They're being called out, and it's like those people have anxiety. Those people can't
yeah.
participate in the same way that we can.
some guy in the chat, he said, even if you can't understand it, it definitely can be hard to grasp the reality situation. In every way, it matters if it's not you.
How did you see that?
Yeah.
Did my stream freeze? What the fuck?
I mean, it's a
We have the technology, Ringo out
I
here
got
with
a
the
laptop
freaking.
phone. That's crazy.
I'm in the future, bro. I'm in
That's
the
crazy.
future.
Ibrahim got that $1,300 laptop, bro. He gets to travel through time now.
You're in the future of your Twitch stream.
I'm in the future, bro. My keyboard works.
You have stream delay for me watching.
I really don't even see that, but like, and it's not even like I said Discord, but it's not just Discord, bro. Like there are people who just don't get it, and it's like they'll be like they still double down on like first of all, it's not politics. I'm about to say it, bro. I think Trump is an absolute idiot, and the fact that like it's not even politics anymore because there's no right or left. This nigga said he was gonna attack innocents like civilians. Like what the fuck is that? That's not politics. It's like
all dudes off his rocker. He's crazy. He's absolutely insane. And the worst part is that everybody knew that. This guy has not told a lie his entire campaign.
It's nothing new.
Yeah, he's been repping. You know, honestly, bro, everybody hates Trump. He's a bastard, but he's been repping the set since day one.
He's been repping the set since day one.
Yeah, shout out to the dude for being straight up, bro. That's one of the realest people on the planet. He said, "I hate everybody. If you're not like me, get out of my way." And everyone's like, "Hey, no, he's just playing, bro." He's like, "You start looting, we start shooting." Whoa, brother, whoa, calm down. You're going crazy, bro.
Spin on that like, oh, it just me. No, it doesn't. Shut your ass up. No, it
No,
doesn't.
you're so stupid. You just follow the rules. Hey, man, I don't know. Let's not looking like it, bro.
Let me get back on track so John can stop. But like,
Yeah.
I guess as far as mental state, it's hit me, bro. Like, I'm not like down in the dumps, but I'm genuinely upset sometimes. Like, I'll be on Twitter. Like, Ivan said that one time. He was like, I was nervous. Like, I was a wreck by the end of the day. Sometimes I'll just be on Twitter and like, I get so frustrated. It's like sometimes I want to cry, sometimes I want to hit something. I'm like, this is ridiculous, dude. It's I don't know. It's hard to. You definitely have to take breaks from like looking at social media and stuff because like that's honestly where the only place where our news can actually come from now because that's where you see everything. And the thing is, if you continue to see everything, it takes a toll. It takes a toll for sure. Like sometimes I really got to get away because otherwise I would be a wreck too. But you got it, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I guess going back to the quarantine because that's what everybody else was talking about. But I mean, for me, it's like it hasn't been as bad because I've had a lot of contact with a lot of people over social media and things like that. Like a lot of people in my friend circle, we just kind of kept the friend circle going, even though we couldn't be in person. But I mean, there's definitely something different about just like being outside and being around people, and that's just like it's difficult because as an extrovert, you want to be around people and have those social interactions. So that's been hard, but overall, I think it's just been kind of trying to stay like mentally active, like not falling into like the same thing over and over again. Because I mean, you get into these routines and then you get stuck in the same mental track, and it's like you just keep doing the same thing over and over again, and it's like you just get more and more down. So I think like trying to vary what I do and like trying to stay physically active is another key component of staying mentally active. Like I think a lot of people, if you stay, there's a part of just staying physically active that works a certain part of your brain that, gets you that release, other things can't. So just trying to stay physically active, trying to stay, mentally active, vary what I do, I think has really been a help.
Physical activity is huge, bro, because I let myself slip for sure. I was carrying something in Target today, and I was walking in my car, and like I got to my car, and I was like, "What the hell?" It was like, I was winded.
It's crazy because I've been back on the gym more than I have since like most of my last 4 years in college.
I had no access to it. You got one in your house, pretty much.
Yeah, but even then, just skipping going for runs, like doing push-ups. I've just been more on it than like ever. Since I haven't done this since when I was like full-time training in like high school and out of high school. Like right before college started, I was in the gym every day. Like, so I haven't done this like that since then. It feels really nice.
All right, John, finish though, I think.
John, how do you feel about what's going on right now in the country?
I mean, honestly, if we're being honest, these have been issues that we've been facing for a while now. I mean, like the Black community's been facing these issues for a while now, and now it's like popularized and like everybody's talking about it. But like this stuff has been like on my mind and been on my friends' mind and my community's mind, like around us, for a while. And so it's depressing to see, that nothing's got done this entire time. And I mean, at the same time, it might be good. As much as it's a tragedy, it might be good because people are like waking up to the issues that have been there the whole time. And like this might like shake things up enough to where we start actually moving and doing things as a whole. And it's woken up a lot of people who were just completely asleep on the issue before. So, I mean, trying to go in with that mindset has helped me not like get super like down about this whole situation.
Going off that real quick, I think that like, bro, like what you're saying, this is like, it's on everybody's mind. I think this is like history in the making, bro. It really is.
Yeah, for sure.
Something has to change from here on, but like.
What part of the history textbook are we gonna be on, man? That's what I'm waiting for. 20 years from now, like what chapter? What's our chapter of the textbook gonna be?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We're gonna be on the cover.
On the cover.
I don't know. The cover. Final Life Fridays. The face of history.
Reserve that for something really bad.
Because they said there's a statistic that's like this is the I think because of all 50 states and multiple like 18 other countries, this is the biggest civil rights protest in like history. So like it already is history, and it's only going.
Yeah. Working out now more than ever. Yeah. It's a good time to work on yourself. Train the chat real quick.
All right.
Hold on.
Go ahead and finish unless you were done.
No, I didn't. I mean, I didn't have much else to say about it.
All right. Well, I know Ivan he said he had some ideas.
Yeah. So like now, we're running a little long, but I do think that's okay for this topic. It's a little more convoluted than last week's. So
We can hit these points fast.
talk-
I kind of gotta go, but not like anytime, like in like 10 minutes. But we can
yeah.
hit these
So
points fast.
let's talking about ways to deal with and improve your, or even maintain your mental
things
health
to
right
do,
now.
he said, yeah, things
Yeah.
to do. Just like
Yeah. And we're lucky enough to have Ivan. He's a psych major. He graduated like 4.0, whatever. Dude's a beast of psychology, man. Like,
psychology.
take the stage. Take the stage, man. Take the stage.
So okay, there's obviously mental health is it's this whole thing, but I really like this book. I'm actually gonna read a little bit from this book because it kind of describes things in a really digestible way. So it's called Notes on a Nervous Planet by Matt Haig. This stuff is really cool. This guy, he had like problems with suicidal thoughts. He actually tried to commit suicide, and he kind of had a lot of problems with anxiety, depression, but he got over it for the most part.
Yeah.
So he writes a lot of books for how you can deal with it. So this in particular is 6 ways to keep up with the news and not lose your mind. So I'm just going to read some of the things that are relevant. There's 6 things, obviously, but some are more applicable than others. The main one, I think, is remember that how you react to the news isn't just about what the news is, but how you get it. The internet and breaking news channels report news in ways that make us feel disoriented. It is easy to believe things are getting worse when they might just make us feel worse. The medium isn't just the message, it's the emotional intensity of the message. And then another thing is, remember, looking at bad news doesn't mean good news isn't happening. It's happening everywhere. It's happening right now, around the world. In hospitals, at weddings, in offices, in schools, and offices, in maternity wards. Some of these aren't really happening right now because they can't. But you guys get the idea, right? Like, good stuff is happening everywhere. I was filling out some petitions. I mean, millions of people are on there, and people are donating like pretty good amounts of money every couple seconds. So good stuff is happening, and it seems like more bad stuff is happening. But I think that's just what we're focusing on, and I honestly think like the bad stuff is kind of necessary, but that isn't what we should only be focusing on. And just keeping that in mind is something that you can do to make yourself feel better. And take the time for yourself that you think you need to take. If all those tweets are always going to be there, those headlines are always going to be there. So just come back to them when you're ready for it. So that's pretty much what I would advise, like the regular, like your average Joe who just wants to stay sane right now. That's just what I would advise. So, yeah.
That's good looks. Good looks. What's the book called again?
It's called Notes on a Nervous Planet. It looks like this.
By Matt Haig,
I
right?
would really recommend it.
Yeah.
It's super easy to read. You can probably read it in a few hours.
Unless you're of course. Could take you a hot minute.
Come on, don't do it like that, bro. Don't do it like that.
Take him a hot minute to read that one.
And then he has another book called
They got a
Read
movie?
Stay Alive.
They got a
It's really
movie.
What's his other book called?
It's called Reasons to Stay Alive.
Wow.
He kind of talks about his suicidal tendencies, but it runs on a similar vein. Very easy to read. You can knock it out in a few hours.
I'm about to cop this whole right now.
And
$10.89 on Amazon, bro. $10.89 paper.
nothing. That's chump change, bro. That's lunch.
Exactly. Look into it. $10.
Yeah, just eat sleep for dinner one night and get yourself that book.
That's chump change.
He sleep.
Look into it. Sleep for dinner.
But pretty much in line with what Ivan said. It's very difficult, especially I know I've talked about the average Joes. Touch a little bit more on people John mentioned who have like anxiety and they can't really process information. So in clinical psychology, one of the it's very anxiety is very often it's tough to treat because not only is there a biochemical aspect of the brain, but there is the psychological aspect. Either you've been conditioned or you just you had this deep set trauma, or you're oversensitive. what in layman's terms, your fight or flight response gets interpreted wrong, and it just causes these adrenaline responses in your body that your body isn't like, it doesn't make sense. Like let's say you get stressed out by let's say the color blue makes you anxious, right? You go to pour some Frosted Flakes, your body has this fight or flight response. You're freaking out. It doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't apply to you, and then that's what causes anxiety.
I've heard people describe it as an emotional migraine. It's just like everything.
Yes, right. That's how people. So obviously, it's very hard to battle these conditions, and one of the ways that can help you is like what I was talking about with breaking like your illogical worldview that everything is going bad right now. That's one of the big things. It's often just a mental trap people fall into. And it's usually helps aggravate their mental illness is they get stuck in this loop, where it's like everything sucks, everything's terrible, and it just like keeps piling on your shoulders, your brain shoulders. You need to be it, and either someone else or now that if people are listening yourselves, you guys need to make sure you tell yourselves it's not all bad. There's good stuff going on. People are being born, people are grouping together. You can understand that these bad things are causing positive waves in our community. People are joining hands that have never worked together before. People are finally standing up and fighting again. When was the last time we've seen a movement this big and this organized across the whole world? Not even just the 50 United States, which is crazy by itself.
It's no joke. It's really no joke. It's like
this is huge. Places I would never visit for the color of my skin are protesting for Black people in America across the globe, and that shocked me. That blew my mind. I was like, there's no way. Everybody is just standing. I'm literally amazed in solidarity. Dude, out here in the Middle East and Syria, they don't even have homes anymore, and they're protesting together. It's all to do with the Black people. It's ridiculous.
They got nothing, and they're over there.
So at least, we can go to sleep knowing that there's still good people on this planet. Not everybody's out here looking out just for themselves and trying to move themselves up to the cause of other people. We can at least go to sleep with that.
Yeah.
And for those of you that aren't as affected as well as this, the lockdown's getting to you.
Be open. Be open to being teachable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, that's what I was going to say is for those of you that are affected by the lockdown and it's bothering you not having human contact. Lend an ear to your peers in need who are anxious, who are overwhelmed, so they can open up to you. Why? And then talk to you, and then you can just be a shoulder to lean on or an ear to lend. Because sometimes just talking to someone helps get the anxieties out. Be a reassuring presence, and that really helps.
Yeah.
Having a support system.
Absolutely.
But that's all I got to say. So what do you guys want to pick up?
You pretty much hit everything, bro. You guys, both of you, said everything that pretty much can be said, unless John's got something to say. I got nothing to say. Nothing to add. You said you got nothing to add too?
That's good.
All right, then I guess we're gonna call it for today. Appreciate everybody who came through.
Yeah, shout outs again to all of our viewers. Jonathan for taking time out of his day to come and join us. John, we really appreciate you being here. Always nice to have you on the podcast. Hopefully you can join us again soon. Shout outs to Namni for streaming it, and Ivan for being for really not only presenting the topic, but just being just contributing what he contributed. He came with books prepared and everything. Honestly, dude, that's awesome.
He had the script, bro.
Yeah.
He had the notes.
Yeah.
That shit was written.
Aki came with the strap, bro. The toolie, you already know, man. He was ready for it. But hey, that's all we got to say for this week.
To side guests Cole Peoples and Cody Landers over here on the couch.
Hey, Cole Cody. Hey, I know, bro. Shout out to the homies. And yeah. Be good people, guys. We'll see y'all next week.
Hey, come back next week. Next week we got another episode, 9 o'clock. Don't know what we're talking about yet. We should probably figure out
10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m.
Figure out what's happening. What we're talking about before we start the episode. People are like, "Oh, I need to
probably.
that." We need to start that. That's kind of crucial.
It's like, we're talking about mental illness. We're talking about pre and.
That's what I said. I said we're talking about mental health in the quarantine when the episode start. Anyway, all right. And see it. Anyway, have a good night, guys. Be good people.
Don't sleep on this movement, bro. Just because it's not Tuesday anymore. Like, real talk. This is an important thing that affects everybody. Don't sleep. Don't let it slide on you.
Right, very true. Very true. Stay fighting. Be good people. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good night, guys.
Take it easy.
Peace.
All right, peace.